Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's Saturday the 28th of September 2024 and I'm back with my monthly cross-stitching update. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're well and I hope you're enjoying your stitching. Thank you very much to all of my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. So today I'm going to share all the stitching I've done in the last month, so yeah, pretty much during September. I've got quite a few projects to get through and I've actually had quite a good stitching month, which is good because I think that's probably the first time I've said that this year. Saying that, I haven't stitched much in the past week. I've been quite busy, but prior to that I was doing really well. I'm working on my sort of spooky themed stitching in the months of September and October. So I'm trying to put some progress into all of the starts I had in the last two Octobers. I've got 13 on the list, I think that's right. Or 14, sorry, 14. And I have worked on 8, 9, I think I've worked on 10 of them, so I'm doing really well. Still got a few to go and hopefully another new start towards the end of October. But before I get into that, I do have a finish. So I think it was the day after my last stitchy update, not the plans video. I went ahead and finished the Deadly Aquarium by Lola cross stitch. So absolutely love this. This is it all up. So it's on 28 count casual linen in Jazz by Picture This Plus, stitched with all the called for DMC colours. And you've seen this loads of times before, but we'll just have a little bit of a pan through and then I'll show you what with the last instalment. You might be able to see I'm kind of in the dark. I can't see what I'm showing you. It's gotten very gloomy here. It's raining and very dark, so hopefully we'll be okay with the light. I've got like a light glaring in my face to try and keep keep some light in the field of vision. So the last installment was this amazing, enormous crocodile. And the sign, beware of crocodile, and the little puffin. So this has been so much fun to stitch. It's a bit sad that it's over, but it does free me up to do some other stitching. And I wonder what else Lola Crow is going to come up with for future stitch alongs, because she's very clever. All right, so now into my spooky stitching. At the end of my last video where I shared my plans, I spun the wheel for the first time, so I'm just picking these projects randomly through a wheel spin, and it spun my one and only new start on the list so far, and that was the Witchy Stitches Vampire. So I have a photo in of what it looks like, and hopefully this will be available for a general release at some point, but it was on her Patreon. This is where I got to. Just ignore that scratching in the background. Ooh, you can see through it. Hang on. So it's on a 14 count navy Ada. That might be better. Oh, doesn't he look great? I spent 2 days on this one and I stitched about 1600 stitches and I'm at 16.8%. And because this one doesn't have a solid like top left corner start, I just was lazy and I went straight in the middle of my fabric, picked the middle of the pattern and off I went. And I kind of just picked colours in the field of view and I kind of colour completed, I think, as I went. It's looking magnificent, but a little bit see-through. So this is one that I would like to work on again in October. I feel like I didn't quite give it enough time in September, so hopefully I'll come back to that one and add some more. The rain's just really kicked in now, so I'm not sure if you can hear that. hopefully it's all okay. Next one, I decided to work on my Book of Shadows project. So I'm trying to get 2 pages of this little book done at the start of each month, so that I can get all the stitching done by the end of November, ready to fully finish it in December. And I keep mentioning that because I want you to hold me to it. Like, it will be fully finished in December. The next 2 pages of this book were The Invisible Man. Oh, that light. Ugh. It's a bit too much. Invisible Man, and then The Mummy. The Mummy had quite a lot of stitching, but it's turned out so well. Yeah. Oh, let me just, hang on. Let me just see if I can do something with this light. I don't know if that's any better. It's on 32 count vintage country mocha linen. So it's printed on the front. The back is not that mottled appearance. But look at the detail. Like, that cat only is made up of a handful of stitches and some back stitch, and it's beautiful. So at the start of October, so it's the 28th of September today, so in a few days I will take this out and make sure I do the next 2 pages. I have no idea what they are yet, so looking forward to getting to them. Next up, I spun the wheel again, and I spun Happy Halloween by Love for Cross Stitch. I'll put the name here, hopefully. I got this pattern on Etsy, and I don't think I've seen anyone stitching on it. Not sure, but it's a fantastic pattern and I highly recommend it. So I'll put a photo in of where it was before. I had pretty much just stitched on this Halloween. Whenever I started it, was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. Last year. I think I'd only stitched on it for a few days last October and haven't touched it since. But I've spent another 3 days on it now, and I've done another 2,350 stitches, and it's now at 36.7%, and I just love it. Here it is now. So what I did was, I'm pretty sure I started with back stitching the hand. Is it thing? I'm not really sure. Anyway, the A in Halloween. Then I'd already done a lot of these are all half stitches, and they go through the whole piece. So I think I'd half stitched to the candles, and so then I put the cross stitching in the candles, carried the half stitches over to the next letter, but then came back and did the back stitch. Look at those candles. They're so good. They're amazing. And then once they were done, I came over and did all the cross stitching on the pumpkin, which is the O in Halloween. And I think it is going to look absolutely incredible when I get to backstitch it. But what I'll do next time is I'll carry the half stitches over, so the pumpkin's completely done and everything around it's done, and then I'll come back and backstitch it. So, oh, I just love it. This one's on 32 count linen from number 12 Stitch Co, called Decrepit, and that's the whole piece. It's coming up pretty well. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. I don't think I'll get back to it in October, but you know, never say never. That's all in DMC. Yeah, highly recommend it. Okay, then I spun Halloween Wreath by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This was a 2022 October start, and I'd only worked on it in, hardly at all. There's a photo of where it was. And I worked on this one for 3 days and I actually got about 1,000, oh sorry, not 1,000, 3,000 stitches. It stitched together really quickly. It doesn't go into Pattern Keeper, so I'm just using a PDF and like manually marking off stitches. And then I put them into like a little counting app. And I say I got about 3,000 stitches. I forgot to note down how many I did one night. And then when I came back to that counting app the next day, Jemima stepped on my phone and wiped it. It reset, so that's an estimate. This is where it is now. So let's see, I had done this, so this was part 1, this is part 2. Why is it so hard? Part 3 is kind of like half of the bow. And I decided I wanted to finish the bow. So part 4 is actually over here and this is part 5. I just skipped 4 for now because I thought I may as well stitch this whole thing together and then I'll come back to it. So on 32 count Silver Springs, Belfast Linen, Silver Springs by Colour Cascade Fabrics. And I think it's looking great. All right, then the next one I spun was Halloween Parade by the Blue Flower. I'll pop a photo in of where I was last time. I worked on this one for 2 days and I got about 2,000 stitches. Like I said, I've had this strange, very productive stitching month. I don't know what's gotten into me. Maybe it's like setting myself a challenge. I'm not really sure. I just haven't been able to stop. So yeah, photo of where it was. I spent, 2 days at 2,000 stitches and I'm now at 40, close enough to 43%. And I think it's looking amazing. Here it is. So what did I do? I finished off the tree and the lights or the leaves, whatever they are in the tree. Let me come in a bit closer. I stitched this cat, which is dressed as a stegosaurus. I think that's right, isn't it? And I didn't really know what I was stitching until I sort of finished it. And then I realized it's so clever. And it's reaching down for this fish. The lady here has all these treats that I'll stitch next. And she's got a fish for the cat. And then I've done a fair amount of the text as well. Strange things are seen on Halloween. It's on 40 count linen from Daisy Chain Stitchery in charcoal grey. And I think I've worked out what I'm going to do to cover my little pen spot from when I drew on it last year. But I'll worry about that later. That's all in DMC. Yeah. The more you stitch on this one, the more interesting details you come across. It's good fun. All right, then I think I did spin, but I changed my mind about what I was going to work on because I went to a stitchy day here in Adelaide, which was a lot of fun, organised by another Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. It was a really great day with other crafty people. There are a few stitches. There was some knitting and crochet, and someone was sewing an outfit for like medieval type fair, which was amazing too. So yeah, had a really great time. Oh, I didn't bring it. Got there a little bit late thanks to some car trouble that I won't go into. Sat down and next to me was Flissy Fish. She is on Flosstube, though not for a little while, and Instagram, so it was really nice to meet Felicity. And she had made scissor fobs and needle minders for everyone, which was just so kind. Sorry, got a little visitor here. And then on the other side of me was Carolyn, the Flosstube Stitcher. And I've been following Carolyn for years. She was probably one of the first Aussie floss tubers I think I came across way back when. So it was really nice to meet her and yeah, spend the day chatting about the things that we love. Stitching and more stitching. So I'm looking forward to, I don't think I can make the next one, but I'm looking forward to attending again in the future. So I can't remember what I spun. Oh no, I can. It was the Mill Hill kit. I didn't really want to be working on that when I knew I'd be distracted by talking. So instead I took my Witchy Stitcher piece, All Treats, No Tricks. And as far as I know, I didn't make any mistakes on that day. There were others in the group who did, and that's okay, that's expected. But I somehow managed to not make any mistakes. And I came home and worked on it that evening, and I think into the next day it might have even been a few days, because I did actually finish it. Yeah, I spent 4 days on it, did about 2,600 stitches, and here it is. So it's on 28 count. Oh no, I've forgotten, hang on a second. Why do I always forget this? 28 count linen, it's from Fox and Rabbit, and it is, I'm gonna say Fossil, is that right? I do have it written down. Yes, Fossil. And then the threads are from Cottage Garden Threads, and I just love them. I love how that orange just pops, and the variegation in the purples and the greys and the greens. It's just so cool. So that was very exciting to get a finish. It was the one I was hoping to finish, so managed to do that. And then I'll get to it, but for another project, I realized the threads in that thread pack worked really well to go with another project. So I'll show you those shortly. So then I went back to the Mill Hill, and so it's Ravens. And last time, you might have noticed, if you watched my plans video, I could not work out which way the perforated paper went. And I actually was thinking, I think I might have made a mistake with where I've started stitching it, because I thought I must have started in a corner, but it seemed too far in. So I was very concerned that I'd find that I'd started in the wrong spot, would need to frog everything. But actually what I'd done is, after carefully looking at the pattern, I had actually started in the middle, and I hadn't actually made my way out to the far edge yet. So now I definitely know which way it goes. And that is where it's at. I think I've only got one colour of stitching in this sort of top right quadrant to go, and then the rest will be beads. There's still heaps of stitching left though in the whole thing. But I'm loving how it's looking. I only spent 1 day on that, I think. It was like one evening. Yeah, and I did about 650 stitches. So again, I'm not sure if I'll get back to that one in October, but you never know. Okay. Next we have Halloween Quaker by Lila's Studio. I'll have a photo of what it looks like and where it was last time. I quite enjoyed working on this. So in the photo from before, there's a big motif that wasn't finished, and it was nice to get past that. So I finished that and I moved on to some other bits. And what did I do? 3 days, about 2,000 stitches, and I'm at 17%. And that is where it's at. So that's the big motif that I finished. And yeah, they're all in slightly different colours. You can see the witch's hat. I'm not sure about this one though. That is a Silks For You, and I think it's too light. I think it's just lost, see? I don't really want to pull it out though. I've got another option. Bear with me. What on earth? My dad's just texted me, apparently he's a meme. There you go. Look at that properly later. Anyway, so I think I used this one. And I'm wondering if this one might be better. It's along the same lines, it's just a little bit darker. It's not showing very well. They look the same. They're not the same. This is terrible light. Anyway, I think I'll leave Reggie singing the song of his people. I think I'll leave it in for now, and I might try that darker blue, and then if I'm really upset by it, I'll take it out, but I may even just leave it, so we'll see. It's on 40 count linen from Fox and Rabbit in eucalyptus, and it is green, it's not grey. So it's coming along really nicely. My next spin was another Witchy Stitcher piece, the Black Pearl. And I'll pop photos in of what it looked like and where it was. This one's on 28 count opal casual linen in feldspar by Chromatic Alchemy. And I had a great time working on this. I spent 3 days and got 2,600 stitches in. And I really wanted to hit 50%, and I'm at 53.5%. And that is where it is. I haven't left myself huge margins. The only real problem is in the Q-snap. I know I could sew fabric around the edges to get it sort of, you know, fit in my Q-snap a bit better, but I can't really be bothered doing that, so. I've almost finished the black. I'm doing it in Silks For You PR070. I've got to do a bit more black down here and then up here too. And I've always wanted to stitch the text, which is up here, and the tentacles in a different colour. And I'll show you the things I was thinking of, but I've made a decision now. Thank you to the people I asked for opinions. I thought about possibly using this Cottage Garden Threads Scandalous, which would probably be pretty cool. And another option was another Silk For You blue variegated, which I'm just looking at Halloween Quaker, and maybe I should go with that. Then it would stand out. That is it on that fabric. See, that would look good too. But I kind of decided, like, the fabric's drab intentionally. We've got the black. I kind of wanted something to really jump out. And I found this silk in my stash. I've got a lot of silks. I was in Silks For You, like, monthly club thing for ages, so I have a lot of variegated silks I do struggle to find suitable projects for, and I am going to go with this. it will definitely stand out. If I come in, you can see it's mainly orange with some yellow in it too. So I'd like to do this one again. I'd like to work on this in October. And I think I said I did 3 days and 2,600 stitches. Well, there's 2,600 stitches left. So I reckon, you know, I could do that in 5 days max. If I had good stitchy days, maybe less, maybe more. But yeah, that's the plan. Try and see if I can get enough finish. Okay, what's next? Next is Blissfully Unaware by Hands On Design. And I wasn't very prepared for this. Hang on. That is Blissfully Unaware. And I'll have a photo in of where I was. And I've spent less on this than any of the others, even Mill Hill. 2 days, but it wasn't like much. 530 stitches, but I'm happy with what I've done. This is on 30 count linen from the Crossed-Wing collection in Ravens. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. And you can see I finished the, which way? This way. I finished the moon and the bats. And then I've started on this. I didn't quite make my way all the way across because I couldn't quite reach it in the Q-snap. This is the project where I looked. I'd only bought one of the called for threads, which was this one. It's Weeks Dye Works Moon Glow. That's how much I have left, by the way. So one skein was perfect. And then I was using again my black silk from Silks For You, but for the rest I was going to use DMC. And then I had a look at my threads from All Treats, No Tricks. And I needed an orange, beautiful orange. I needed like a beige, perfect. I think charted this was like a very dark greeny grey. Not sure how well you can see that. And this is probably a little bit more green, but I think it's absolutely perfect. So that's what I've done in these. And then now I'm doing the text in the silk again. I think this one looks really cool. That's all of my spooky stitching. I've actually done a little bit more stitching as well in September. What's the best way to show you? I caught up with Jo Belushi Stitches and we were talking about her new Chatelaine. If you're interested in stitching Chatelaines, she stitched Evening in the Park really quickly, I think over 5 months, and she documented it, and there's a whole series of videos she's called the Chatelaine Chronicles on her channel. And she's just started another one which is Versailles, which is amazing, and she's doing the same. So if you're interested, go and have a look at Jo's videos, they're really good. Anyway, she inspired me to get my poor neglected Chatelaine out, and I have done a little bit, and this could be a contender for tonight, I'm thinking, or tomorrow afternoon. So I'm not sure if I've got a photo of where I was before, but I'll just show you now. Is that going to be, you can see through it, but it's all right. So this is the Taj Mahal mandala on black, 32 count linen black. So I didn't make it easy for myself. Oh, and I can see through it, so that's good. I can't remember if I showed this the last time I worked on it recently, but I've done a lot of the specialty stitches in this motif, although obviously I'm missing a few here and here. Some of them will be beads and treasures. But I'm pretty sure there's still a fair amount of specialty stitches in this bit here. But I went ahead and I stitched the trees, and then I've started on these down here as well. It's such a beautiful piece. I just need to work on it more frequently. So I think I will try and get some more done this weekend now that I'm looking at it again. Yeah. All right, so that's all my stitching for September, or there's still a few days left. So next up, I've already spun the wheel, and it is, I don't have it close to hand, nope. Frog in my throat, sorry. I've been, I got really quite sick about maybe 3 weeks ago. I can't remember now. And I just cannot get rid of this cough. It's so frustrating. Next up is Halloween crystal ball. This is one of our original starts from 2022. Jo has finished hers. I am nowhere near finished, but that's next up. And I've still got Black Cat, which is the Lorna Lane Gecko Rouge piece. A Touch of Magic from Caterpillar Cross Stitch. And Silhouette's Quaker from Teresa Kogut. And then hopefully also have the new start from Lola Cross Stitch Ghostly Bowl if she releases it in time. And then once I've done those, I'll probably go back and work on the Black Pearl and Vampire. That's probably it. I'd also like to work on Firefly as well. So yeah, I'll come back again at the end of October and do a roundup of my spooky stitching for this year. And I'm just thinking ahead for the rest of the year. I will do an end of November update, just normal monthly update. That's going to be the last update for the year for me. And then with my end of year whip parade, it's going to be my 6th one, which is crazy. I can't believe I've been doing these for so long, but I love whip parades. They're so much fun. They're a lot of work though. Wow. So I'll be doing mine. I've always done them in the week between Christmas and New Year, and that's not going to work for me this year. So I'm going to do mine the very first weekend in December. So that's, yeah, I'll have 2 more updates and end of year whip parade. So only 3 videos left for me for the year. So yeah, but in the meantime, I've got plenty of stitching to keep me busy. And until next time, happy stitching. See ya.